Hi, it's Therese from Lostinpaper, and it's all about the case today. And this is a magnificent card created by a friend of mine called Angela, and I'm going to link her blog below. She does a lot of different sort of graphic styles with lots of bright, fun colours. I have a new to me die set from Memory Box, and these hearts really are glorious. They're called glorious hearts, and there's 5 different sizes. And before I start die cutting, I thought I'd create my own watercolour background. I've got these Tombow markers, and I will list the colours at my blog if you are looking to find out which ones I used. The link will be in the YouTube description below. But I've got some watercolour cardstock, and I wanted to recreate the bright colours that Angela used in her card. So I've got some oranges and a real sort of deep hot pink and then a pink. And when I'm actually colouring out the second pink, even though it looks lighter on the cap, it looks much the same on the cardstock. But when I do add the water, there is a lot less pigment, or it's a lot less bright. Is that good English? It's less bright. There you go. So what I'm doing here is just simply adding some water, mixing my colours a bit onto the cardstock. I wanted the colours to sort of blend a little bit. I wanted that watercolory look still. So I want the mix of the orange and the pink. Now, as I'm adding the water, I found that the orange wasn't as bright as I would like. So what I did was actually just create a second piece of cardstock with some real bright, vivid orange and the hot pink on there. And I thought, well, I can just die cut as I go. And if I need an extra few flowers, then I could easily do that. But as it turned out, I actually needed most of this cardstock that I did colour up. So there you go. Now what I'll do now is just set this aside to dry for a little bit. And once that's happened, I've got a little flower die. It's from Penny Black, and it's from a set called the Gift Card Pocket. And there's 3 flowers in this one die, and I've actually left them together just to make it easy because they are such tiny dies. And then I run them through my die cutting machine a lot. So I actually don't make you sit through all that, but I wasn't sure whether I was just going to use one size flower or all of them. I just thought that having a variety of the different sized flowers would look good. So now I'm going to start die cutting my hearts. This is the second largest of the hearts, and here's all my flowers set ready to go. And I don't know about you, but I really like glue dots, and these glue dots are the perfect way to add flowers. And then if I'm not really sort of happy with where they are, then I can sort of lift them up and move them around. And I do that here, but I've pushed it down pretty hard. So I actually end up ripping the paper a little bit, but that's okay because I'm going to cover it up. I'm going to cover the whole heart with these flowers. So it's a little bit opposite to how Angela did her card, because it's a case, I don't want to exactly recreate her card. I want to make it similar, like I'm inspired by her card rather than copying her card. So I love the bright purple, sort of pinky purple and oranges that she used. I loved having those multiple flowers and the heart element. I decided to stick with all of those, but instead of having the negative space with my sentiment in it, what I decided to do was have the heart was actually the flowers. I am lifting up the edges of the flowers here as I go along too. I just sort of to give it that little bit of dimension. Now, the glue dots that I prefer are the ones that are on the roll. I find them easier to use, but I've got all these little sachets of them, so I do have to use them up. But I find that, I don't know if you're the same, but they are a little bit more awkward to use than the ones on the roll. So from now on, it's the roll for me. I'm going to stick with that, but I do have to use the ones that I've got first. So I'm just building up my flowers and playing around till I'm happy with how the colours are going. I'm trying not to put two similar colours together too much, and I'm also alternating the size of the flowers too. Some of the big, some of the middle, and then some of the small ones just to fill in the gaps. And isn't that pretty? I did actually consider doing a coloured background on there, but I actually thought the white was really nice showing through. I decided to cut the largest heart as well out of another piece of white cardstock while I was doing my die cutting and getting it ready. And what I was going to show you here is I've got a template cut for the chat bubbles die set, and that way what I can do is hover it over the words, and that'll just let me, I use this quite a bit, this template, and that way I can work out if I want to add a sentiment to a speech bubble, whether it's going to fit or not. So that's the Happy Snippets set, and I decided to go with the sentiment OMG, and I've die cut that in some black cardstock, and I'm actually using the chat bubble in reverse here. So that's why I couldn't line it up afterwards with the hole to get my die in the right spot. I decided to heat emboss the white powder and just use the tweezers there to help me stop burning my fingers. Okay, so now I'm going to start assembling everything. I want to use the largest heart, and I am using my grid lines here on my mat to make sure that I've centered the heart. This is a top fold card. What is it, 15 by 10.5 centimeters, and then I did want to pop up this little floral heart, and I've used some fairly high pop dots because I wanted it to sit out quite a bit. Isn't that pretty? Those colors are awesome. Thanks, Angela. And then with my sentiment, I did pop that up as well, but I did come back. Originally I'd only had it popped up with a couple of black foam squares. It just wasn't enough, so I came back and actually made it even higher, and then that can sit right off the heart there onto the right, and I thought this would make a really cute engagement or wedding card. And that's pretty much my card for today. Thanks for joining me. I'll be back again real soon. Until next time, happy paper crafting. Bye.